you have an option to hit got it or leave the meeting. So take your pick.
Okay, now we will turn it over for Joe DIETZ to talk a little bit about the iPhone.
Okay, last month we talked about a couple of things, how to take care of instant messages. When you get a phone call in, there's a icon there for instant messages. We talked about how you can change those to suit whatever you want it to be. And then we got into doing multiple stops in the Apple Maps, where you've got to go, say, 4 or 5 places you want to go. You can put those in all at one time in the maps. You can rearrange the order that they're in, and then just tell it to go, and it'll take you everywhere you want to be. When we're talking about that, there are several things came up about the Maps app and using maps and things on your phone. One of the first things that came up was talking about focus. And I'm going to share my screen now, if I can remember how to do it. Okay, there we are. The first question came up about the focus on your phone. Some people like to talk on their phone, use their phone while they're driving or send text messages, and it's really not a good idea. We all probably have done it at some time or another, but Apple has put in a program into their phones called Focus, and it allows you to make some changes to your driving procedures. So if you want to follow with me, if you got your phone up, you can. First thing we're going to, let me get my annotator. First thing we're going to do is go over here to settings, and we're going to tap on settings, and then we're going to scroll until we get to focus, and we'll tap on focus. And here we've got a lot of different things that we can do. The first thing we want to talk about, well, actually, we're going to talk about the driving part of this. So we'll tap on driving right here. And then we can set our focus up while driving. You can set it where it comes on. Well, let me explain what focus is. What this does, it will not let phone calls interrupt you. If you get a phone call in, it will take a message and it will give you a notification when you're done that you did get a call in. So you can set this up in a variety of different ways. One, you can see here on mine, it's set up for manual. The other one you can do is set up automatically. And what that does, you probably noticed this, that your phone is able to determine whether you're driving or not, whether you're moving around. Anyway, it will do that automatically when you get in the car if you've got this set to right here. So you get in the car and automatically it's not going to let your phone calls come in. Now, I'm going to take mine back here right now to work on this a little bit closer. Sometimes you do not want calls in just as a matter of safety. But maybe there's somebody in your family that maybe they're sick, maybe they need extra help, whatever. And if they call, you want that to come through. So what you do here down in this area, you can set who you get notifications from. And if I tap on people here, it will allow notifications from, and you can add different people here. Usually in the phone, when you see this sign about people, it's going to your contacts. So you can tap on that and then go get somebody. And then if they call, that will come through. which is really a nice addition. The other thing is, we've talked about favorites. Some you can make favorites in your phone, and you can allow call from favorites, from everybody, only your contacts, and I don't know about those others, but you can set it up who you want to get through. Kind of nice. Okay, let me see what else. Oh, another thing down here. This is a safety measure right here. It's about repeated calls. Say you got your phone turned off or set for silence. If somebody calls you and you don't take the call, and they call again within 3 minutes, the phone recognizes there must be something wrong here for them to be calling back. So it will accept that phone call. So that's kind of a neat feature. So that's pretty much about what I wanted to talk about focus. Again, you can set it up. It's a safety feature. If you're not going to use it for yourself, maybe you ought to set it up for your hubby or your wife or whatever, or the kids, and go from there. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about is something that, well, a continuation of what we talked about on maps. When you're in your Apple Maps, not Google Maps, not Waze or any of those others, but in your Apple Maps, you can get started on that, and you can tell somebody when you're going to arrive at their place. So I'm going to go through these steps right now, and I'm going to, first off, I'm going to open the Apple Maps, which is right here. And then I'm going to put a destination in there, and I'm going to put it over at CKCS, and you can see how the map is. Here's where I am, my home, and it gives me a couple different routes to get over CKCS and tells me the time of each of them. So now I'm ready to go, and I'm going to hit on go. And then down here at the bottom, it says share the ETA. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask Brookie to go on her maps and set a destination over to CKCS, and then share that ETA with me. And I want you to see what happens here. So Brookie, you're up. Okay, there it is. Brookie is sharing ETA. Brookie will arrive at Central Kentucky Computer Society around 7:28. Now, if I tap on this, that was mine. Then here's what we got. Here's where Brookie lives, and here's the route that she'll take to CKCS. And then it shows where she is. And if she was driving right now, as normally you would be doing, this little icon would be moving along, and you can keep tabs of when somebody's going to arrive at your location or another location. Pretty neat little app. And let's see. That's about it. Any questions on that? Okay, I'll stop sharing then. Maybe. I've lost it. There it is. Hiding behind another screen. All right. You're up.
Okay, so Kurt, we're going to turn it over to you to talk something about your map.
Okay. Let me share my screen with you.
Starting route and presses home. Press or a spring cord.
All righty then. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
With all this junk?
All that orange flash.
Play like that junk is not there. I'm going to go ahead and open Apple Photos. And it's filled with all kinds of photos. And this is on a Mac. This is what you can do. A lot of people don't know you can do this. You open up Apple Photos, and if you want to look at just one photo, click on it once, hit your space bar at the bottom of your keyboard. And this is what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a Corf sleeping porch from the 1920s. Anyway, when you're done viewing that, I need vim, vigor, and vitality. Oh, excuse me. Hit your space bar again, and that picture goes away. Here's the Jenny down in Bowling Green. You just click on the photo once, hit your space bar, hit your space bar again. And so you don't have to open all these photos. People don't know this. Here's my new little 2-year-old cat, Thea. Click on the photo. There she is on her favorite scratching stoop. Sunday evening with the sun coming in. Hit your space bar again. I just like to show folks this because it's just so easy to use if you're looking for a picture. For example, I saw a screen grab on African languages spoken in America, top 2 in each state. The top African language in Kentucky is Somali, and the second most active is Swahili, which I thought was rather interesting. Anyway, but these are all photos that I've taken either with my phone or whatever, generally with my phone, different things. And I like to look at them, and this is a quick way to go through them in photos. If you're looking for a photo you want to use, or you want to review, whatever, click on it once, hit your space bar. This happens to be, by the way, Croatia. There's a young woman who's a TV director at Wood Songs, the music show, who was born in Harlan County, but all of her family's from Croatia, which is kind of neat. So hit your space bar again, and the picture disappears. Hit your space bar, once. So it's really easy to use. Suppose I want to move one of these pictures to the desktop to work on, to crop or whatever. Okay, well, I've got so much junk on my desktop. Let me move photos over. Just going to shift it by grabbing it here at the top in the little title bar. I'm going to drag this one to the desktop. I'm going to drag this one to the desktop. I'm using something called Stacks, and you turn it on by clicking on your desktop, which is called the Finder. This desktop, the background picture, is called the Finder. And when you do that, you can turn on Stacks. It's real easy to do. It's been around for several years. Click View, use Stacks. Watch, it's currently activated. So what that means is it puts things in categories. Oops, I didn't want to move that. I'm trying to move Zoom. There we go. Puts things in categories. For example, my images are all thrown together stacked. If I click on Images, it shows all the images I have on my desktop. Click on Images again, it disappears. Here are my spreadsheets. Click on Spreadsheets and it shows them. Click on the little category at the top, it disappears. And then I have some folders with things in here that I keep. If you want to turn Stacks off, you click on View, you uncheck it. Look at all the junk I have on my desktop now. Oh my gosh, do we really need that much junk? Don't answer that. I'm going to turn it back. I'm going to turn it back on. So I'm going to go say View, use Stacks, and they stay in their little areas. And of course, you can always, on the Mac, you can click on one photo, one picture, one file, whatever, hit your space bar, and it's called Quick View. It doesn't open it, but it lets you glance at it, and to close it, hit your space bar again, and it will close it. I thought this was kind of interesting. Everybody thinks people in Britain either speak English or Cockney. I'm kidding, but they speak a whole bunch of other languages, and it's Urdu. I mean, who knew? These little pockets of these areas in Great Britain where they speak all these different Romanian, get real. It's not just in London, it's all over the country. Bengali, anyway. But I keep a bunch of things for the newsletter and stuff on my desktop. What do you call a group of cats? They're called a clouder. To me, this looks like too many. But anyway, that's just one thing I wanted to show you, that you can You can keep anything in a folder for the CKCS newsletter and just click on something. Click again, and that's called Quick View. It's been available for quite a while, and you can click on a file, hit your space bar, hit it again, and it disappears real quickly. Something else, so, and to get them out of Apple Photos, you just drag it to the desktop. Only thing you have to do, horizontally, grab it, drag it to your desk. See the little green circle with the plus in it? Drag it to your desktop. And because I have stacks turned on, it shows up under images. So click on images, and there is everybody's favorite board game, Horseopoly, the game that actually encourages horseplay.
So Kurt, when you take it out of the Photos app and drag it to your screen, that's a copy of it? Okay, and it still
Yes.
stays in your photos.
Very, very good point, Joe. This is a copy, and I'm not moving the original, because if I go back to photos, they're all still in there. Everything is still in there. You know. So if you use a Mac and here's my Tesla. There's Michael from last year. Of course, you can get the metadata and all that stuff, the details about the photo, but I just keep them in here, and someday I'll use all these for something. But if you need a quick place to look at photos, it's kind of a neat way to keep them in there. And here's my favorite. This is in a park where I walk a lot. The city put up some signs. Are you confused? I should have entered Joe's contest with the sign when they had signs. Here's another one I thought was pretty weird. We have two groups here. This was at Meyer in the checkout lane. How to Get Away with Murder and Who's Who in the Bible. We're right next to each other. It's two market groups they're trying to appeal to. But anyway, if you have a Mac and you use Apple Photos, you know, and if you have it synced with your iPad, your iPhone, all your photos are also on there too, on your mobile devices. So it makes it kind of neat to be able to keep photos in here kind of as a repository, and you're good to go. But anyway, I like to keep photos in here, but that's a little quickie with Apple Photos. Drag anything you want in here to your desktop. Pictures from Illinois last winter of what the temperatures were like. Yeah, I use this to be thankful every day we don't have this. This is how much snow they were supposed to get. Anywho, and this is something I passed out of my class. If anybody wants this, I'd be glad to send it to them. This is something that somebody sent me from their iPhone. It's a quick guide to recipe making in the kitchen, like how many quarter cups are in a teaspoon. The answer is 12.
Oh, that's
So
great. I love that.
I keep this in here because I use it. I'm not a cook, but I use this all the time. So I open up Apple Photos. I click once on it with my space bar. Oh, because Joe is really good at this. I'm not. I can never remember any of these things. So I have to look it up. But if I am actually baking something, bar the door, Katie, because I have to look this up all the time. But anyway, it's a great place to keep your pictures. And if you want to use them, if you want to, it's really just a really neat place to store things, and you don't have to open them. Before we leave, may I interest anybody in that Corf sleeping porch?
No.
No? Okay. I'd really like to get one of those. I don't think they sell them anymore though, do they? Anyway, I'm done. Thank you, everybody.
I'm sure there's a zoning thing that would not let you have one.
Remember my dad years ago told me that I think it was 1936 was the hottest year ever. And people took their mattresses outside and slept on the front porch, on the front lawn, because it was so hot. They could have gotten a Corf.
That's right.
Anyway,
Okay.
thank you, everybody.
Mm.
Anybody have
Okay.
any questions?
Yeah, any questions for Kurt?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show my screen. and I'm on the iPad. Okay, do you all see it?
Yep.
Okay, it's hiding behind another screen. Let's see if I can move it over so I can watch a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit about the Reminders app. And it's this app right here or up here. Okay, so if you're on your iPad, it's a little bit, looks a little bit different on your iPhone, but you can probably follow along as well. But the Reminders is a good way of making lists of things that you want to remember. I use it all the time. I'm going to show you how to do it manually, and I'm also then going to show you how to do it using Siri, your personal assistant. So here's Reminders. I'm going to go ahead and open it. And when you open it, you have two columns here. And you'll notice that I have highlighted down here Reminders. Okay, so you just tap that. And when you do that, this screen over here comes up. And so I just have 3 reminders in this app. I had over 200 and I cleaned them up for this presentation. So I do use it all the time. I just don't have very many right now. So the way you do this is when you tap Reminders, you will see down here at the bottom, does everybody see where there's a plus sign and it says new reminder? Do you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we'll just tap that and it will allow us to bring up the keyboard and also let us to add a note. So I'm going to add 3 notes here. The first note, I'm going to just put in a simple reminder and flag it. And then the second one, I'm going to do a recurring reminder. And then I will do another one that is a weekly task to remind me to do a weekly task. Okay, so the first one, I'm just going to put in here to remind myself to pack for a trip. So I'll just go ahead and put that in. And when you do that, then you have underneath it something called add note. So you can add anything there. So if there's something that you want to make sure that you pack, or you could put everything that you need to pack, but let's say there's a few things you want to make sure, like you want to make sure that you pack your medicines, okay, and your bathing suit. Okay, so let's swimsuit. And it might be cold, so we'll do a sweatsuit, a sweatshirt. Okay, so that's just your
Cords.
all right. So that's where you can add little notes. And now what we'll do, I need to move something out of my way. At the very top, you see these icons up here. So if you want to schedule a certain day for it, you'll go to the calendar icon up here and you'll just tap it. And when you tap it, you have some really quick ones today, tomorrow, next week, this weekend, or you can actually do a custom. So I'm going to add custom there and it brings up the calendar. And so let's say I want to make sure that I do it on the 24th. So I can tap that. And then I can apply. And once I apply, it shows up there. And that's the information you have. You have the date and any notes you might have added. Okay, so we're going to add another reminder. So here we go down to new reminder. We're going to tap it. And we're going to put in a reoccurring garden task, something that you need to do ever so often. So we're going to go ahead and say fertilize flowers. Okay, I plant my flowers, but I end up forgetting to fertilize them every 2 weeks. So all right. And then I could add a note here if it's a particular fertilizer that I need, but I'm just going to go up here to the calendar and I'm going to tap on this calendar icon and I'm going to go custom. And here I can say, I really want to water them. I want to fertilize them every Sunday. So I can tap Sunday the 21st and then I can tap down here where it says repeat. And when I do that, I can put information in there if I want to do it. But I want to do this bi-weekly. I'll tap bi-weekly and then I'll go back up here to the top where it says apply. And there I've got fertilized flowers every 2 weeks. And that will come up and I will see it every 2 weeks on a Sunday. All right. So the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to go back down here and tap on new reminder. And this one, my garbage is picked up every Wednesday and I want to make sure that I remember to take it out Tuesday night. So I'll put in take down trash. All right. And then I can go back up to the calendar here and I'm going to customize it. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in for the 23rd. And then I can come down here to time because I want to be able to see my reminder at 9 p.m. And then I'll go down here to repeat. I'll tap on repeat. And I want to do this weekly, so I can tap weekly. And then I can hit apply. Okay, so there's, many ways that you can do it. You actually could do pack for trip. I could tap that one. And then I could go up here to the top and put a flag on it so that I flag it. Okay, so if you have something important that you want to remember and you want it to stand out, you can do that. Okay, so that's done. Let me show you a couple of ways that you can see your reminders. Like today, you can see what's on my calendar for today that I need to do. You can look at all of your reminders. And that's just kind of a listing of all of them. And then scheduled, it kind of shows you a little bit more here, if you'll look. If I had something the rest of May, and then in June, July, and it goes just through the whole calendar. All right, and then if I just want to look at flagged ones, I can look there. All right. But I have to say that, let me do something here on all of them. I'm going to go over to all because I want to show you what happens when you say you've completed something. So I'm going to go ahead and do this very first one I have, take gift today. And you just tap it and you noticed it went away. So when you complete a task, you can tap it. It will highlight it and then it will go away. But you can find all your completed tasks over here. Okay. And then if you don't really need them anymore, you can hit clear and it'll ask you if you want all of them. And then you can just say, delete 2 reminders and they're gone. Okay. Now, I really use my reminder app. I have Siri do it actually. I don't type this in, but I wanted you to be able to see how you could type it in. But I just say, let me bring something out because it works better if I say it quickly. Okay, so I can say, simply I can say, hey Siri, remind me to buy eggs. Okay, she doesn't want to remind me. Okay, there we go. Buy eggs. Or I can say, hey Siri, remind me to check the mail every day at 2 p.m. Oh, isn't that interesting? It's
Is that-
showing up on my iPad, but it's not showing up on my list here.
There it is.
Yeah, okay, just taking a while for it to transfer over. And then you could say, hey Siri, remind me to take my medicine every day at 9 p.m.
Okay, I added take my medicine for this evening at 9 p.m.
Okay, so I really use Siri to add things to my list. And especially if I'm in the house and I'm walking around and I see that I need to do something, but I get distracted easy, I can go in and say, oh, remind me to plant my flowers, or remind me to put the laundry in the dryer. And she will add that to it. And in that way, I can go back and look at my list and make sure that I get it done, especially things that I need during the day. Any questions?
Now, Brookie, if you wanted to remind you every night to take your meds,
Mm-hmm.
how
It
would you
should-
make it do that?
For some reason, she didn't pick that up. Let me try it again. Hey Siri, remind me to take my medicine every day at 9 p.m. Hey Siri, remind me to take my meds every day at 9 p.m. She's just working in slow motion right now.
Would you get a buzz or anything that says,
You can go in settings and ask it to notify you. It will actually come up on my notification list on my telephone and on my iPad. And
oh,
I think, and I think Joe has his will actually verbally remind you, won't it, Joe?
Yeah.
and then when you do it, what do you just like, if you set an alarm, you just make it go away?
Yeah. You can just swipe it to clear it from your notification list, but it
Okay.
doesn't clear it from your reminders.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Any other question? Okay. All right. Well, that's what we had for this
Question.
evening.
I have a
Sue?
question. I used to have a class on the second Thursday and the fourth Thursday of the month. I haven't found a way to be able to remind me of that, because sometimes there's an extra Thursday in there that would make it every other week instead, or it's just.
If anybody
So
else knows how to do that, let us know, but I have to do the board agenda for the first Thursday of every month, and so I have it on my Sunday. I do it on Sunday before that Thursday, and you're right, that sometimes gets shifted to the next Sunday.
Right. And they neglected to think of that little issue when they wrote this program.
Right, yeah, it does make it difficult, so, yeah, I don't have a solution for that one. Okay, all
Or
right. Mhm.
another one that I wanted, and it might work on this, if you wanted to be reminded of something the first day of every third month. Would that work?
Whoa. In
I don't
regards
think-
to your past question, Sue, could you not set it up for the second Tuesday of every month? And then another reminder for the third Tuesday of every month?
I don't know.
I don't think it will. It doesn't have quite that option.
Yeah, and if there's something, let's say you're getting your teeth cleaned or something like that,
Uh-huh.
or you've got an appointment that you keep the first day of every third month. There's nothing there that you can put that in with, unless Siri can do it.
Yeah, I don't see it as an option. here.
Yeah. They should have asked me before they wrote up that program.
Right, right.
Mm.
Okay, all right. Any other questions for our other people? No? Okay. All right, well, appreciate you joining us tonight. And at this point in time, we're still planning on having this next month. Kurt, will you be around next month?
I believe I will be.
Okay, all right. So we will have it in the